Hello and welcome to TA in Control, or welcome back if you've been here before. This is the place where we help teaching assistants feel confident, capable, and fully in control in the classroom. And today we're diving into one of the most powerful skills a TA can have: building positive relationships with students. So, whether you're working one to one, in small groups, or supporting a whole class, strong relationships make everything, and I mean everything, easier. Hello there, fabulous TAs. I'm Lauren Reesner, and I was a TA one to one and HLTA for 20 years. I even did 6 weeks of teacher training, but I absolutely hated it. And now I create videos that answer all your TA questions. So if you want to learn more about being a TA, grow in confidence, cope with interviews, and all manner of other TA related stuff, start right now by subscribing to my channel. When students trust you, they listen. When they like you, they engage. And when they feel safe around you, they thrive. So today I'm sharing 5 simple but powerful strategies that will help you build better relationships with the students you support. So, first one, get their name right and use it often. Now, this might sound basic, but it matters more than people realise. A student's name is part of their identity, and when you use it consistently with warmth and respect, you're showing them they matter to you. And a top tip: if you're unsure how to pronounce a name, ask and practice. It shows you care. When I started working with a child from Romania, I got her name slightly wrong, and she was too shy to correct me. But once I found out and made a proper effort to get it right, she absolutely lit up. You could see the difference immediately in how she reacted with me. It was such a difference, and the our interactions just were so much better. And her learning, she started to really engage with her learning. It was like, I guess, hearing her name was on a par with the fact that she thought I eventually I saw her properly for who she was. Very powerful. Notice the small things. Now, children love it when you notice them, not just for big things like reading aloud well or finishing a task, but the tiny, ordinary things. So try noticing and praising things like, you've drawn that really carefully. You were so patient just then. I noticed you helped tidy up without being asked. These little comments build trust and self esteem, and they add up fast. And tune in to their interests, their mood, or their effort. Let them know you see them, even on tough days. So, on tough days, if you've had to point out something that they need to improve on, for the want of a better way of saying it, then also notice on, the tiniest thing they do right, because that could be a pivotal moment in getting them to try harder. Be consistent, kind, and fair. Students, children, are very quick to spot adults who say one thing and do another, or who are lovely to some students but not others. We've all known adults like that, haven't we? So, what builds trust? Well, creating clear boundaries, predictable reactions, staying calm even when they aren't, and following through on what you say. And I remember I once supported a child with very challenging behaviour. There was just cause because he had had a very, very unpleasant start to his life. But the key turning point was when he realised I would consistently stick to boundaries for his behaviour, but I never got cross and I never backed down. It took several months, but we ended up building a strong working relationship. And I think that was built on the fact that, you know, he'd experienced really horrendous adults in his early life. And the behavior was down to being scared basically around adults. So once he realized that I wasn't going to get cross, that was massive. And as I say, it did take several months, but once we got there, we started to really move forward. Show genuine interest. So relationships are a two-way street, and children know when you're just ticking a box. So ask questions like, how was football last night? What are you building there? You look thoughtful. What are you working out? Then listen to the answers. And with whole class support, use moments during group work, lining up, or transitions to chat informally. Even 10 seconds of genuine interest can boost your connection. Makes a real difference. And in the corridor, rather than pointing out what somebody's doing wrong, stop and have a conversation. How are you today? You know, how are your lessons going? That sort of thing. It makes a big difference. Celebrate their progress, not just perfection. So positive relationships grow faster when students feel like you're on their team, celebrating their effort and growth, not just success. And you know, doing that is a powerful way to show that you are watching, you're listening, you're aware of who they are, and you want to celebrate the effort that they are making, because obviously the effort that they're making, if they make more effort, that's only going to be a good thing for their progress in their education. So you can say things like, that's a great try, you've really improved. Or you can say, you didn't give up, be proud of that. And you can say, you did well last week, but this is even better. And especially for one-to-one support, because you're often the adult who sees the small steps. So celebrate them, name them, celebrate them, and make the student feel successful. I think, you know, if there's one thing that is just really important, it is building that sense of empowerment in students that they can do well. And if we're always pointing out the things that they do wrong, it must it you know it's in the end it erodes that relationship that you could have with them, and they start to feel as though they're never getting it right, and they're just kids, and it feels too big. So we really do need to be pointing out the things they're doing well. Yes, if they're crossing boundaries, absolutely you must make sure that they understand what they're doing. But I think we need to be making an effort to be pointing out the small steady improvements that students are making on a daily basis. So strong relationships don't happen by magic, but they do grow from small intentional moments. And if you've got a strategy that works for you, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what's made a difference in your classroom. And if you'd like all my free TA resources, type free resources please in the comments section below this video, and I'll give you the link to access them.